being in band for the past 7 years, I've always wondered if woodwinds had performed academically better, since brass players, which is trumpets, tubas, French horns, trombones, always seemed to goof around a lot in class, and they didn't seem as serious in school. So after research, I found that generally music students in general perform academically better than their non-musical counterparts. I've also found that there are different personality characteristics between the two groups. For example, brass have higher levels of what is called socially prescribed perfectionism, which actually negatively impacts their academic performance. So I concluded my hypothesis with, if brass players have higher levels of socially prescribed perfectionism, then woodwinds will have higher levels of academic performance. For sample validity, I surveyed 24 non-musicians, and I surveyed 24 musicians, 12 woodwinds, 12 brass. For the non-musician survey, it asked for their gender and their weighted cumulative GPA. For the musicians, it surveyed for their GPA, gender, age, and years of study. And the data was self-reported. The results showed that the GPA of musicians was significantly higher than their GPA of their non-musical counterparts, but even though that they were significantly higher, the GPA for the woodwinds and the brass players was exactly identical to the 10,000th place at 4.01474. Age did not confound this. Years of study did not confound this. Gender, even though that the distribution between these was not even, the GPA between between female musicians and male musicians was not any significantly different, so gender did not confound this. And gender did not confound the data for the GPA between the musicians and the non-musicians either, which was pretty evenly distributed. So our conclusions was, it supports the research that musicians perform academically better than non-musicians, but it disproves my hypothesis because there is no difference between these two. However, this research is not generalizable for all the non-musicians were honor students, some from this class, and as well as the musicians were the best musicians from the top bands. And as well as the data was self-reported, so who knows what they wrote down. To better this, it will require a random sample of all music students, not just the top ones, and as well as of all students, not enrolled in music, not just honor students. So, and as well as we'd have to figure out another way besides self-reporting, and as well, so we would also have to, this research besides fascinating us quenching social science interests, this would also be very applicable for music education school boards to show where to direct resources. Thank you for your time.